Hey everyone, welcome back to Jurassic World Evolution. We're continuing the Jurassic difficulty playthrough on the 1993 Isla Nublar map. So in between episodes, I worked on a bit of a sandbox park that was basically my attempt to kind of predict how this is going to unfold as far as how big the park is going to need to be and all that. And I came up with a fairly neat looking design for the park, and it's basically the idea of having a hexagon that goes around all of these buildings here, and the hexagon is made up into lots of different exhibits, and then it also still allows us to have this whole area here is open for like a more safari themed area. So I have a picture of it on my phone that I actually don't need to do much to catch up with the design. I actually think I just need to make a couple of small changes. So hopefully by the end of this episode we'll reach 2 stars and you can kind of see what I'm talking about as it slowly takes place. I mainly wanted to do this because it became clear to me that I would have a lot more creative freedom with this Jurassic difficulty playthrough because the contracts are much more doable. Alright, so that's okay there. And, in the meantime, we need to keep up with our research, especially these. I think Ceratosaurus is susceptible to that. And there's a contract for this, so we'll grab that. In the meantime, I'm pretty sure... Do I have a contract for anything? No. Do I have anything relatively close? We have enough money and we'll have the space for Stegosaurus. But, I think Dilophosaurus might be really good for getting our park rating up, so I'm gonna grab Dilophosaurus next. Alright, we still don't need any extra staff over here. Alright, this has happened several times, so, that'll be one of the things that we fix when the time comes. What would be great is if I could just pause this, but I'm not sure if I can. Let me see here. So this is pretty much what I want. I think this one might be just a tad off as far as measurements go, but we can handle that for now. First thing I'm going to do is make this exhibit larger because it's going to... My plan is for this to house Triceratops and Styracosaurus in pretty large capacity. Yeah, I think that's what's... Okay. And then we're gonna kind of tweak our existing tour here a little bit. But first, this is something I've never really had to worry about because these tours are one of the last things you unlock, not one of the first things you unlock. So I'm going to... There's going to be a lot of demolishing of the path and rebuilding and all that
until
stuff.
You got there, and now, hey, we know it was worth it.
It's always kind of frustrating to have to rebuild something that you've built already, and then it's hard to kind of like exactly measure everything that you've already done. So I'm gonna make this as close as I can, because I think the design looks really neat, and it would easily be the best structured park that I've done in challenge mode. Oops, I forgot about these guys.
You know,
Yeah, his are like basically a constant stream of getting contracts done.
In knowledge instead of ambition, this contract is your chance to prove me right. You know, I told John that I'd return to his elaborate prehistoric ant farm under one condition: that nobody else dies because of something that shouldn't be alive. And that still holds true.
Alright, cool, we got that done. So let's apply this.
The way you completed that contract. Someday maybe you and I are running this place. I mean, it kind of feels like you are working for me already. Huh?
With this new contract, you can help advance our ability to take care of the dinosaurs.
I wanted a Styracosaurus anyway, because like I said, we're going to move these Gallimimus, and this is going to be our ceratopsid enclosure. Let's see. I might have to build another substation, which I'm not particularly excited about, because this fence is going to need... Oh, I don't even have the electric fence researched. I'll have to remember that. If I remember correctly, I'm actually going to check right now. There are no Dr. Wu genes. Yeah, there are no Dr. Wu genes here. So, basically, if we make a lot of carnivores, they are going to be trying to break out a lot. So honestly, I might have to double fence the Dilophosaurus exhibit, which that would kind of stink, but it might be necessary because unless I just want to have a ton of sauropods, which is also an option. But for now, I am going to try to have like one of each, because I do want to have like a T-Rex and Velociraptors, but maybe they won't be, I won't have as many of them or something. Well, let's take a break from all that stuff and go take care of this. Don't have too much confidence in the AI shooting at this point, especially since I don't have any accuracy upgrades. Alright, that's done, let's grab a quick picture.
Nicely framed.
Alright, those are gonna be a little while. Alright, let's take a minute to rebuild our... See, what stinks is, so let me just kind of, this is different for me. What I want to do with the park tour is I want it to go up and around, and it's going to go out, and then it's going to go around the perimeter of these exhibits, because these are going to be carnivores. And then it's going to head in here, and this is going to be like probably a Stegosaurus or a Hadrosaur enclosure. And there's going to be a couple more that it can drive through. Then it's going to link its way over to here, and this is where it's going to enter the safari zone. And then over here is going to be like the carnivore corner of the island. And it's not going to go into any of the exhibits, it's just going to drive past them. And then it'll circle back in through here. So until that happens, it's kind of hard to know what to do with this tour, because it has to come back here at some point. So part of me wonders if I should just build the
Painful
skeleton of the
experience.
park.
A very uncomfortable journey into the unknown, but you sure made it look easy.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that. This may end up being kind of like a strange episode where we just build a bunch and don't really get as much done as I'd like. But I think it'd be helpful to have like the outline of the park done. So we're gonna try that and see if it works the way I'm hoping it will.
If John Hammond's experiment has taught us anything, it's that you can always know more. Contracts like this one provide that opportunity.
Alright, so if you're wondering why I keep doing this, it's because the way the fencing works is it gives you it allows you to snap the fence at a half point of whatever angle you've created. So if I make a 90-degree angle here, it'll let me make a 45-degree angle. And it looks like I have 3 links here, so I want a third one. And then I want to make another 45-degree angle. And that'll get us going straight down again.
Your money situation is solid. Mr. Hammond is pleased.
Well, thank God for that. Alright, and then... So yeah, as you can see, we're going to have this hexagon in our park. So I'm pretty sure every side needs to be 6 links long. Sorry, wow, every side needs to be 3 links long. It's a bit of a tongue twister. Okay. Alright, there we go. Alright, I think we're on track. I haven't done this. I've only done this once in like Sandbox yesterday, and it's always is kind of like a not sure if it's actually going to line up the way I want. But I think it's worth it because if you do it right, it can make the park just look so much nicer. I've built so many parks where everything's kind of just like scattered, and it's just kind of like, okay. Yes, this is Jurassic difficulty. And yes, hearing the original actors' voices is really, really refreshing instead of angry science security entertainment people. So as expected, this one up here is a bit of an anomaly. It's a little wider, so it makes sense that this is gonna be a little wider down here too. I did not make it quite perfect, but
no deaths.
This should line up.
That's a significant improvement from my last visit to Jurassic Park, and John Hammond should be quite happy, or at least, relieved to get this news, I would think.
Okay, so there we go. As you can see, because I think it's because I have this here, and I placed this down and built from it instead of doing 3 links and then fitting it in the middle. Dr. Malcolm really doesn't want people to die. But so anyway, the whole park, everything for the guests is going to be in this hexagon.
The multiverse theory postulates that we've already done this 1,000,000 times in 1,000,000 different realities in 1,000,000 different universes. So, taking on this new contract should feel familiar by now.
Yeah, if anybody,
I've been
anybody
up close
could
and
make
personal with these dinosaurs, and I've witnessed the worst that they can do. I don't wish those memories on anybody else, and that means visitor safety has got to come first.
If anybody could make doing these contracts a happy experience, it's the original cast of Jurassic Park. I'm not sure if you could hear it, but the weather bulletin thing came up, so that's why we're on emergency now. I have some research to do. Okay, I'm gonna need this for Dilophosaurus. And I might as well grab the other one of these just in case. Alright, I didn't hear a tornado, so we should be okay. But now I think I can proceed with what I want to do with building anyway. So what we're gonna do is we're going to flesh out this half of the hexagon first, and then by the time we finish, they're gonna go into the safari zone, and then this corner is gonna be all about carnivores. So we'll try to save them. Well, we're doing Dilophosaurus, but I'm talking like Spino, T-Rex, the raptors, and all the other ones. So we're gonna try to fit all the herbivores in here in the safari area. So This is kind of also where it gets a little bit more difficult for me to keep track of how the exhibits are going to look. So it might not look exactly the way I'd like. But we'll do our best.
I've heard that the expedition is back and that they've made excellent progress while out in the field.
Hey,
We can never
Metriacanthosaurus.
dismiss the failures of the past, but we can celebrate the fact that Jurassic Park is getting better. That's due in no small part to your efforts. Here, you've earned this.
Thanks, Dr. Grant. Yeah, Metriacanthosaurus will be a really, really good challenge mode dinosaur for us.
Adding task.
Because it doesn't get mad and try to break out in the storms. The only issue is, unlike Ceratosaurus, we can only have 2 of them together.
I delegate. That's why I'm giving this contract to you.
Okay, how close? Muldoon has been destroyed. It got completely wiped out. Oh my god. I guess I have to completely handle these whenever I go in the carnivore exhibit. I mean, that's cool. It just kind of just adds another thing I have to do for challenge mode. Oh well. I think I know what I want to do here. I'm just kind of trying to visualize it. Tours disabled? Wow, you straight up destroyed this. Okay, I actually haven't had to do this yet. Do I need to manually go in and reset it? Well, let's just take this as an opportunity to restructure the ride the way I want to anyway. Alright, so get rid of all this.
So you want me to be impressed, huh? Okay.
Okay,
This should
so
help with the dinosaurs.
basically...
We'll need all the tools we can find and all the strength we can muster.
We're gonna, so maybe this'll help better show what I was talking about. But before, dang it, more contracts. Dr. Grant always has good contracts. That's fine, actually. We don't need to make that bigger. Man, this like makes me wish that we had a pause button like there is in Planet Zoo, but oh well. So we have the binoculars research. The game actually gives you those really early, so even though we're not in the exhibit, it really doesn't matter. We'd have to be really, really far away from the dinosaurs to not be able to see them. And plus, this honestly is more true to what happens in the first movie anyway, having the tours outside of the dangerous exhibits. so not that upset about doing it this way. I should probably... We're probably just lucky that it didn't get broken down sooner, if anything. Alright, so this is eventually going to go into an exhibit, I think. But for now, we're just going to have it do this. And there. Thankfully, like I said, because the contracts make this much more forgiving, I can actually just kind of burn a lot of this money and not feel like, oh my god, I'm going to lose the challenge mode now. So obviously there's not going to be anything over here for them, and this is honestly just kind of a means to an end for now. But I'm pretty sure the longer the ride, the more cars pop up, so it shouldn't really matter. So this is kind of phase 1 of what we're going to do, and we will just edit the path every time we add an exhibit, we'll edit the path a bit. Alright, so I've been neglecting my duties over here for a while, so...
They had the illusion of danger, but not the actual experience, and that is an optimal result.
Okay, Styracosaurus, Dr.
Living
Grant,
dinosaurs,
please.
well, they present us with so many challenges, including our own notions about the nature of these animals. This contract can help further our understanding. Consider it.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I have to manually reopen this. Also, I'm going to pretend that Muldoon didn't get destroyed by a Ceratosaurus, and this is still going to be Muldoon. My sort of spoilers, if you've never read the book, but Muldoon lives in the book. A lot of the people who live and die are kind of swapped around from the book to the movie. Alright, that's being researched. Was this a reward? It was, okay. I'm not too worried about that yet, but I'm probably going to want these because we're going to add an electric fence for Dilophosaurus. And as predicted, I'm going to need another substation, but that's an opportunity for me to do another neat thing that I did in my sandbox park. That I can share with you all.
I disagree with John that these dinosaurs should be attractions. Even Dr. Malcolm and I are on the same wavelength when it comes to displaying them to the public, and we don't agree on much of anything. Still, we have to give if we are to get. And for the science, this is the price to be paid.
What's nice is I've only heard a couple of like contract completions that are redone or...
I can't believe that we get to work with dinosaurs. Or that you get to work with me. Just kidding. Or am I? Maybe this new contract will help clarify things. For both of us.
Okay. But a couple of contracts were nowhere
Money
near
not only makes the
completing.
world go round, on the islands, it's what brings it back from the dead. So you can see how running a profitable business benefits everyone, including the dinosaurs.
Alright, so we clearly need a substation over here, so let's get that built. And this gives me a chance to... I mean, this isn't as bad as I thought it was. I basically, on my sandbox park, I had the substations all neatly tied around all of this, so maybe we'll do that later, but it's not nearly as messy as I thought it was. Ooh, this is where the aviary is going to go. Let's have the wire go this way. Alright, so our electrified fence is up, and our first two Dilophosauruses are incubating.
There's a new contract that I strongly suggest you act on.
Honestly, so I want to try to get Hammond's reputation up.
Take a look-see in this direction.
Okay,
Got
that's
a contract
doable.
offer for you.
Because I know all of them have fairly decent rewards. So I don't want to just completely ignore the other ones. Euoplocephalus will be another good dinosaur for us. And what did he want? Ranger Reload 1.0. It's not the worst thing. Alright, anyway. Let's get this enclosure up and ready for Dilophosaurus. I always like to have a really forested enclosure for Dilophosaurus, but we also need to remember that I need to keep room open so that my jeeps can actually get to where they need to go. So I don't want it to be too forested, and I think that'll be good enough. This is also kind of a neat opportunity for me to show what I was telling y'all about in the first episode, about my idea of using sand to kind of show where to kind of help me guide myself whenever I'm manually driving the Jeeps. For now, it's not that hard, but I just think it's a neat little cosmetic thing to do. Alright, Dilophosaurus, first, or no, it's not our first carnivore, but it's our first Dilophosaurus anyway.
Given their size, these dinosaurs really need room. Make sure you're providing enough space for them.
That's solid work on your part.
Do we get a unique little caption for Dilophosaurus, please? The thing Dr. Sattler said was just because this exhibit's obviously too small, but this is the hatchery zone, so maybe there'll be one later. It may have been overruled by the lack of size. Normally I just shove Dilophosaurus in with Ceratosaurus, but we're giving them their own exhibit this time because this island is huge. And I think we can spare the room at least for now. Let's get our third Ceratosaurus and let's have another Dilo.
Yeah. We all know what's waiting out there, and a new contract is waiting for you here.
One kind of decent question is where am I gonna move the Gallimimus? Because this is going to be Styracosaurus and Triceratops land. Some of them are 100% genome, so it's not like they're all gonna die off anytime soon. But for now, I think we'll just leave them there, I guess. Or I could start the safari zone and put them up here. Let's do that because I'd really like to get Styracosaurus in here, and it's also like the next genome that we almost have done, so I'm gonna turn this off for now because we don't have any dinosaurs ready. And I need to edit this ride because I need it to be able to see the Gallimimus. Alright, you're over here. And don't worry, we're going to use the Jurassic Park gate eventually and all that stuff. We're still in the fledgling stages of our park, so that's pretty good. And I kind of like how there's like this natural curve here for us, so we're gonna just snake this around and boom and boom. Who's sick? Of course it's Dilo. So I'm not gonna let Muldoon get killed again. So let's head over and take care of this. I actually should have checked to make sure the exhibit was big enough. I haven't checked on that yet. It's kind of a mistake on my part. And it's already spread to Ceratosaurus, of course. See, the forest is just shallow enough that we can easily get through it. Right, it's spread. Oh wait, no it didn't. Oh, now it's spread. Spoke too soon. Alright.
ID on the asset. Approaching asset.
Well, those were the most cooperative Ceratosauruses I've had ever. And let's, yeah, I was gonna say, this is what got you blown up in the first place, was trying to refill that, so. While we're doing Jeep stuff, I might as well go tranquilize our Gallimimus, but I want to make sure that these guys are happy, which they are happy. The exhibit is big enough for Dilos. Though it was mainly a challenge before because Ceratosaurus likes grassland and Dilophosaurus likes forest. So it was kind of like you had to make the exhibit extra big because they want two opposite things. Alright. We're already asleep, so that's good.
Warning.
No.
Ranger vehicle under attack.
Oh Oh, at least these are just Gallimimuses. They're not gonna hurt too much. Gallimimus is kind of like underrated in my opinion for this game. They nailed the look and the sounds like from the get-go. It just paled in comparison to the Lord and Savior Struthiomimus. I actually think Gallimimus, I think I've done like the research on it. It's one of the worst cost per point dinosaurs, or as far as the ornithomimids go anyway, it's not very good. I'm about to give y'all a much bigger home, so let's make this easy on me, okay? Alright, did I miss any? I think you can handle this last one. Alright, let's get y'all moved. Let's turn this on. There's a lot of Gallimimus, so every 8 minutes is probably fine. And this way we can start filling that exhibit with Triceratops and Styracosaurus, which will be good for us.
En route to collect the asset. Commencing asset transit.
Now, as far as I know, I've actually kind of demoed this a little bit in the story mode. They don't seem to wander too far from
Adding to the list.
where I'm going to put them. Especially since the food source and the water are so close together, they really seem to stay around there even though there's no fences. Alright, it looks like you got that one, so let's... Uh-oh, our first storm with a dinosaur that might actually break out. Kind of a little scary. I'm mainly concerned about what happens when we have like a whole group of them.
We are pleased to welcome a Ceratosaurus to
Uh-oh, that's the twister. Okay, fence down. That was fast. Alright, that's averted. Twister looks different. It looks more like pale white looking. Alright, we're okay so far. No, that just took a straight up hit to the face. Alright, no power. It's not good. Okay. How are these guys doing? It's about to go in the red for them. Alright, so that's a guaranteed headbutt against the fence. Well, I don't care if you break that fence. One thing thing that's nice with this whole like hexagon design is that everything is so linear. I just have to, it's really easy to fix. I don't have to worry about any like custom curves or anything like that. Alright, I think we're fine. These are electrified, so if they hit their head against it once, they should be done.
Assets in the air.
They don't seem too upset. And our Gallimimus are out here now, so that's pretty exciting. Which means we can do more Triceratops.
Here's a notice from me that there's a new contract that you can take.
Let's grab the Jurassic Park 1993 variants. I don't think I've sent out a dig team in a little while. Alright, that one's completed. I'm kind of hoping that Styracosaurus and Dilophosaurus will be enough to get us to 2 stars. But if it's not, then... Metriacanthosaurus is up there. Putting Metriacanthosaurus in with the Dilophosauruses might secretly be a good idea because it keeps them panicked occasionally instead of going straight for fences. But I really liked the retexture that was given to Stegosaurus, so therefore I want to get Stegosaurus in here before too long.
Your efforts at Jurassic Park won't go unnoticed. I'll make sure of that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Triceratops to the park.
This new contract gives us improved
Hey,
data,
I want to do that anyway.
which can only help us achieve our goals.
And don't go back yet, please.
We are pleased to welcome a Triceratops to the
You don't need Muldoon taking a hit to the face from a Triceratops. Alright, Ranger Speed 1.0 reload's been sitting there a while. Let's get that done. And then get rid of it, because it's not worth it.
It was, how can I
Until
describe
it's fully
it? A thing
upgraded.
of beauty. You can see why I studied business and not drama, right?
A new contract. What will this one bring? The truth is, we cannot know.
Okay, so let's just continue to incubate dinosaurs. We're doing fine financially, and we've got the blueprint for the park pretty well laid out. The one thing that I'm a little worried about is the Dilophosauruses, and that goes for any carnivore that gets stressed enough to break out. And how do we handle that? Because I don't know what kind of fences are these? They're electrified cable fence. I don't, is that stronger than, like, where is that on the strength spectrum? Because that's the only electrified fence we get. The high steel fence is not electrified. So I don't know. Maybe we'll just have Dilophosaurus. This will be our test. And if it's weak, then we definitely know we need to double down on fencing for the other carnivores. Styracosaurus is at 80. I'm just gonna wait until we get to 100 since that's a contract for us anyway. We can have one more Triceratops, and let's have another Dilophosaurus. I'd like to have a small, cute little Ankylosaurus and Pachycephalosaurus exhibit over here. And we have Ankylosaurus, so we might as well get to work on that.
And now, hey, we know it was worth it.
Alright, so this is where it gets kinda neat, at least in my opinion, because I'm going to try to replicate the exhibit structure that I've done here on this side, and it starts to look really cool from up here anyway, but it's not like it's hard, it's just not like, it's just kind of weird to replicate it. Okay, so we want 2 links over.
Specimen of an extinct animal should be more than enough for all of us. But it's not enough. And we need more.
Oh yeah, We'll have to come back to that. Yeah, it just halts the cars, which is nice. It doesn't just completely get rid of all of them. Let's actually get that reconnected real quick, so we don't halt them for too long. There we go. So this one has 1, 2, 3 links, and then it goes 90 degrees left for 2 links. Oops. Dang it, I swear, man. It's just like if it's not a big deal, it's just kind of annoying sometimes. And then this is a 45-degree angle back toward the main enclosure. Oh, I saw it. It can't happen. There we go. Alright, so we got water over there already. Let's clear up. This is one that I haven't used them yet, even though they're, in my opinion, one of the best things that they've added. I'm going to use the redwood trees pretty heavily in this exhibit here. Once that car gets out of the way, I can smooth it out a little bit, so this looks nicer. These cars go pretty slow. Triceratops does not like to have its sleeping area flattened, I can see. That's fine. I wouldn't want someone terraforming around me when I was trying to sleep either. But we're gonna have to fix that later. Alright, so let's continue this kind of rocky hillside look this area's got going for it. And let's kind of just add a little something to make it interesting. And redwood trees, please. It's kind of expensive, but I don't care. I also kind of like the idea of using dirt at the bottom, so it sort of looks like wood chippy, even though it's not wood chips. So that's kind of the best we can manage, I guess. And then we'll have some actual normal trees in the corner, along with some coastal shrubbery in the middle here, and up on the sandbar. And lastly, a feeder for them. Probably gonna need 2 of these eventually when we get Pachycephalosaurus, so every 12 minutes for now, and we'll turn you off until we need you. Okay, I can fix this real quick. There we go. That looks better. Okay. Let's get Dilophosaurus out and tranquilized first. We're not as close to 2 stars as I would like, and it's been a full hour, but I hope y'all can understand that we've really... I mean, I basically spent at least a half hour focused more so on the aesthetic of the park, so... Alright, hopefully we got some Styracosaurus, and we got no Styracosaurus, actually. Let me make sure there's not a dig site that I'm missing. Stego. Nope, this is the only one, so... maybe we'll just have to incubate a few of them anyway. Even though it's not at 100 yet. Dilo.
Acknowledging asset collection request.
So just in case you don't know how the visibility works, once you research the binoculars, it adds this cone, and it will sweep back and forth until it detects dinosaurs, and then it will follow the dinosaurs to keep your visibility up until the dinosaurs are no longer in range, and then it will resume scanning, like how you can see these are scanning up here.
I could.
So it's really cool. I really like how they did that.
One way you can help our research and the dinosaurs is by taking on additional tasks in the form of contracts. I have one for you here, if you're interested.
We have 20%, what's it called, success rate, so those won't fail, they just won't live as long, or be rated as high, but, let's get another dinosaur in here. I just thought, I'm not used to clicking on these things. Do I have extraction speed and inventory space? Oh my god, I've had this the whole time, and I remember I got it, and then I just never applied it. Wow, that's... forgive me. Hopefully it's at least partially understandable, because I'm used to having the 3 buildings to click on instead of this thing, but still. Building upgrades. Dig speed, I don't really care too much about. Inventory space requires a lot of Dr. Sattler reputation. Research speed, I feel like that's probably worth it. I don't think I'm going to use Proceratosaurus, I'm sorry. It's like kind of a dangerous dinosaur for challenge mode because it's small and hard to hit and it takes 2 trank darts. But whatever, I'll research it. I think maybe we'll put Metriacanthosaurus in with Proceratosaurus. How is our facility rating? Do we need another hotel? No. Our dinosaur rating is just garbage. Even though we have what I would consider pretty neat dinosaurs, but it's all about points, not really variety's sake or any of that. So anyway, we got a second. Basically what I'm gonna do is eventually this is going to go, it's gonna curve over to here, and T-Rex is gonna be here, and Spinosaurus is going to be right next to it here. And then we'll have, this will probably be where the Metries and the Proceratosaurus go. So that'll be the carnivore corner, if you want to call it that. And then this whole area, this is, the safari zone is going to be a lot of sauropods and all that. And I think this next exhibit here is going to be Stego, so let's see, are these done? Oh, they're about done. I already have Ankylosaurus's exhibit built, so I should probably send teams for Ankylosaurus. That'd probably be smart. Let's see, kind of haven't gotten, I wonder if maybe they only did little voiceovers for the dinosaurs that got retextures. I mean, that would kind of make sense. Because the Dilophosaurus doesn't have a retexture, and the PhD staff didn't add any comments to them, so maybe that's what's going on here. While I'm thinking about it, we probably need another feeder since we're having several large-ish herbivores up here. So let's put this one here. And let's flatten this out because I can't stand it when it does that with the terrain. There we go. Hopefully that doesn't get our tour cars in trouble. I feel like the Triceratops have actually been pretty cozy over here. But if they have to cross the path, that might cause a problem. but we'll see. Dang it. Dang it. Let's take care of this. Unfortunately, I feel like we did we made a lot of progress with the design of the park, but I was really hoping to get to 2 stars in a reasonable amount of time. And it's been an hour, and we're not anywhere close to that yet. Wow, that spread fast. It's probably Campylobacter though, so it's probably not going to spread to anything besides Ceratosaurus.
No disease. Brontosaurus detected.
Alright, we already are in here, so let's get some filling done. Alright, good job, Muldoon. Alright, I need to send some expeditions out for Ankylosaurus because we have its exhibit built already. It's just waiting to get some big tanky boys in there. While we're waiting, there's no reason not to be constantly incubating, so Dilophosaurus, go. Alright, so... I want this exhibit to be bigger. I'm actually thinking of having a line go straight down here and then go straight across to here. Because this one's probably going to have Stegosaurus and then eventually Apatosaurus in it. Looks like I'm going to need to... Yep. We're gonna have to cut to the tour short, I'm afraid. Just for a minute. And right, not that whole thing. Really? Is it gonna make me delete the whole thing? Okay. I guess so. Alright, and as you can see, we're going to run into an issue with this, so I'm going to make our angle now. And this should snap right into place. There we go, and this is going to be our home for Stego, and probably some Apatosaurus, and maybe even some Dryosaurus later on. So let's reconnect our pathway. Curve too sharp. Okay, that's understandable. Still too sharp? Okay. Thought you spared no expense on these vehicles, John. Dang it, also too sharp. Well, it's not the end of the world, I suppose. Alright, there we go, reconnected, and we've got another exhibit up and ready to go.
Ellie, Dr. Sattler and I used to save champagne for special occasions. I guess this qualifies.
We were saving that. Oh, baryonics. Oh.
You may not believe this, but one of the reasons I became a paleontologist is because I thought it would be fun. Sharing my joy of the prehistoric world with others. In my own unique, admittedly biding at time's way. And now, in you, I may have found a kindred spirit. So I want you to have this. And Ellie need never know we had this conversation.
Becoming best friends with Dr. Grant. What else could a Jurassic Park fan want in life? I was thinking about it. I'm curious what you all think, because I think, I personally like the first movie the most, which is generally the most popular opinion, or the most shared, or whatever. That doesn't mean it's correct by any means.
There's a new contract available. You should give it a
But, I think that part of the reason the first movie is so well liked.
There was a time when the only person I trusted on this earth
I'll just wait
was
till he's
Dr.
done.
Sattler. But now, thanks to you, I'm considering expanding that circle.
Basically what I'm saying is I think that Dr. Grant as the main protagonist, or at least I would think he's the main protagonist, you would say.
Occasionally, to explore
is a lot of the reason why
evolutionary
people
branch,
like the movie so much.
one must be willing to go out on a limb, if you'll pardon the pun. And this is one of those moments. A new contract awaits.
I think a lot of it has to do with the idea of a sort of grumpy, middle-aged-ish man who loves dinosaurs but doesn't really care for kids. And you see him grow so much with Lex and Tim over an hour and a half long of their time together is really, it's a fairly unique-ish character arc. Also the idea of this, like, paleontologist who's a main character, but he's kind of like this outdoor ruffian kind of guy. I just think that that movie's really popular in part because Dr. Grant is a really, really good character. And the book version of him is really good in different ways. He's older, but he, like, 1v1s the Raptor Squad in the book. And he wins, which is pretty crazy. Alright, so it's gonna be a while before we get inventory space, so I might as well upgrade our extraction speed in the meantime, since we're not gonna have any extra space until we get Dr. Sattler's reputation up a lot. Let's put in a live bait feeder in here also. Kind of hide it over here. And we don't want it dispensing so often that we are having to refill it every 10 seconds. Alright, let's see here. Still no progress on Styracosaurus. Wow. Ankylosaurus, please, and you guys. Well, I'm kind of, I don't like releasing stuff at like really mediocre low genome stats, so I might as well just continue this like copying pattern and just keep building. We've got the money, so at least the exhibits will be built by the time we get there. So this one's 2 links, and then a 90-degree angle back toward the center. Maybe this will be a, I'm kind of just building this as we go. I really wanted to have a park that was symmetrical for once. I also really like the idea of most of it being symmetrical.
More of the genome, then by extension, we'll have a better understanding of the dinosaurs. This data helps immensely in that effort.
But anyway, I like the idea of having most of it be completely symmetrical, and then the other half of it being this wide open safari area. I think that'll be kind of a unique... So that snaps right into place. That makes me so happy. We'll just ignore the fact that those 2 vehicles just vanished into thin air. It won't be in this exhibit very long, obviously, but we'll put something small in here, like maybe this will be the Herrerasaurus pen, or, I don't know, maybe this will be the Euoplocephalus paddock, and this will be Ankylosaurus. Well, we'll think about it.
These first specimens, the dinosaurs I mean, they were created with oh so many shortcuts, but the whole point of chaos is that it explores every angle, failure upon failure, until eventually it finds the optimal path, even if that path requires bloodshed. So, let's stay on task with this contract. Remember exactly what's at stake. One mistake, somebody dies. So with these dinosaurs, we need to make sure that there are absolutely no mistakes, which is an impossibility. Still, this is our call. Nobody dies on our watch.
For the time being, there's no reason not to just keep pumping out Dilophosaurus. They're really good for reputation. Or sorry, not reputation, the park rating. Nothing else is at 100%, except we could make a lot of Gallimimus, but those, you get so little points for them that I don't know if it's worth it for now. So, let's see. While those are incubating, let's just continue on with our pre-building of the exhibits, I suppose. That's not what I wanted. There we go, that's... Yeah... That's what I wanted. I think. Let's see, is that straight or... No, none of those are correct. Whoops. Maybe I should just build it from the other side. So what did I do here? I did one down and then 45 degrees south. It's kind of funny, like, I really, really like the idea of Planet Zoo, but whenever something that takes so long to make those exhibits, it kind of, like, wears me out creatively, if that makes sense. I'm just kind of like, oh my god, I'm gonna spend so much time making this. Was this our first? Has this flock died? No. You lived well past your expected lifespan.
Heading to collect the asset.
So like in this game, there's a lot more restrictions on your creativity, but I also, because of that, I feel like, well, I can make something that looks nice, and I don't have to feel bad about it not looking like real life perfection. If it just looks decent, it's like, oh, good job. That might be laziness on my part, but I'm curious if any of y'all kind of get what I'm saying, or if that's just me. It looks straight. It wasn't like, I think that's a straight line. I think we're fine. So what's cool is, I mean, we've basically replicated the exhibit structure, which is really neat, at least to me. I'm hoping that some of the more detail-oriented people who have watched my videos in the past, I hope you're getting a kick out of this, because this is easily by far the most organized park that I've made. Alright, you know what, fine, we'll just do it your way. Actually, you know, let's do it this way, because this is where we're going to be going eventually anyway. This is where the T-Rex exhibit will be.
That contract is complete. You found a way.
He sounds so excited to be congratulating us. This is one thing that, you know, I apologize for, but there's gonna be a lot of just destroying these paths over and over again, because it's just kind of the best way I can think of doing it. So like I said, this is going to be the T-Rex's water holes, and there's going to be a square enclosure. And then the Spinosaurus enclosure is going to be here. And then this will probably be, like... This might be the Metriacanthosaurus and Proceratosaurus enclosure. In which case we won't be sending the cars through it. Let's try Dr. Sattler's contract. Hey, we can do that one.
Of some amazing discoveries, which around here is really saying something.
I guess I have to go there to finish Ankylosaurus, huh? We're over the 2.5 star mark, but we're also like over an hour and a half long of a video. I kind of figured I'd like make these in 5 parts. Each part would be reaching the next star. So we're gonna keep going until we reach 2 stars.
Switching roles. Collecting asset.
We're definitely gonna need to be really careful
Heading to collect
when our
the
next
asset.
storm hits. Because of how many Dilophosauruses we have in there. Unless, like we said before, the fencing they give us is stronger than than I'm thinking. To me, it just looks like the weak cable fence, which is not good.
Asset being transported.
But maybe it's stronger.
These
And I'm
islands just can't function if we can't keep the people safe. And losing that battle might, work out for the dinosaurs and their appetites, but for us, humans, well, not so much. Not so much.
It's like you can tell he loves voicing Dr. Malcolm. Like you can't step into that quirky of a role after that long and do this good unless you really
I never
love
thought
the
I would get a
character.
chance to work with living, breathing dinosaurs. It was beyond my ability to even conceive of such a possibility. But now we can expand our knowledge of these animals with contracts. Here's a new one. Don't let the opportunity slip away.
And I do want to thank who commented, letting me know that these are in fact all three of the original voice actors. It just makes me so happy that it's the real deal. All right, these guys are doing good.
Asset delivery confirmed.
Is there anything else that I can incubate instead of just continual Dilophosaurus? Styracosaurus is basically at... Oh, Ankylosaurus is at 90. I'd like to see what its social is. I think it's like it tolerates a population of 8. Oh, I can't even see that anymore? Because the Dr. Wu genes aren't available in this? Ruh-roh. Let's just do 2 of them. Oh. I don't know why it moved my cursor onto Styracosaurus. That's okay. Ankylosaurus is perfectly happy being solo. You know, I need to... I forgot that I had this researched, so... Hatchery capacity. Take that, video game. Those extraction speed upgrades seem to have helped because I have not had any backlogging at all. We have 2 reserve power, so let's go ahead and slap these on. For now, we don't need to overspend just yet. And let's add one of my favorite things that they've added, the markers. Yes, oh my god, I love these so much. I heard Storm inbound. Alright, let's see, we've got a lot of Dilos in here. Just had a Twister, so... Kinda hoping we don't get one of those, please. I'm gonna be keeping a close eye on these guys because they're the only ones that might try to break out, and I am really curious to see how strong these fences are. Let's check out our sign. It should be lit up a little bit. those so much. Let's change it to nighttime just for fun. Give it a little... We'll play in the dark for the rest until I get to 2 stars. Yes, it looks great. Alright, we got a little more comfort to go.
Yes, this is the additional genome data we've been looking for.
Well, looks like we can add another hotel when the storm passes. Alright, let's see. Are you just coming over to eat? Okay, they're just eating. So, that'll keep them... Alright, that one's attacking. Alright. Let's see. Hearing several thumps. So we're gonna get a decent idea of how strong these fences are.
Young Finch tells me that you have been completing your tasks effectively, with panache. Perhaps you could show me yourself by accepting this contract.
Okay, and nothing's damaged, nothing's asking me to fix a fence, so that is encouraging. So that they clearly seem to be stronger than the low quality steel electric fence. So they've got that going for them. Let's release our dinosaurs. Ankylosaurus got a retexture, so I'm hoping one of the casts will weigh in on Ankylosaurus.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Ankylosaurus to the park.
If you're wondering, I always wait until they're moving to fully tranquilize them, because if they get tranquilized in the release zone right there, it tends to halt any other releases, and they just sit there until the dinosaurs moved. Alright, no one had any dialogue for Ankylosaurus, unfortunately. I'm debating if I want to put Ankylosaurus in here or in here, because this is kind of... we'll just put him in here for now. We can move him if we need the space. This park is so big that I saw a picture of someone's Jurassic difficulty park on this island, and they just had a ton of sauropods. So for me, that's gonna... I like to use carnivores, but I don't have access to the Dr. Wu genes, so they will try to break out. So that kind of discourages me from using my carnivore heavy strategy. So with that being said, Ankylosaurus is at 100 finally. So let's get Stego and Styracosaurus and Euoplocephalus going. Alright, I was actually just about to say we need to go on a feeder run, so we'll do all this, we'll take care of this first. Alright, this probably hookworms. We're at the stage where they tend to give you the disease specific. Oh, that was bracken poisoning, okay. Never mind.
Warning.
Oh.
Ranger vehicle under attack.
Geez, one hit from Triceratops takes, I mean, as it should, it almost takes half of the car's health down. Triceratops is, they always say, like Triceratops would scare me a lot. It's huge, and like, get gored by that guy, you're done. You can just get trampled by him. It's like, elephants are, I love elephants, but they're really intimidating. Well, imagine a bigger elephant with bigger horns and a shield face. And that so alright, let's turn y'all's feeder on. I'm sure you guys are happy. It's very easy to make
Mr. Hammond
Ankylosaurus
has
happy.
big plans. And big plans require big, or at least larger, financial backing. That's why we're raising our fees.
Okay. Doesn't make me happier about it. Alright. There we go. We want to fit these as close as possible. Alright, yep. Additional staff here. Try to increase our profit a bit if we can. There we go. Alright, we're really close to 2 stars. I think if we just put in a little more, we'll get there, and then I'm gonna call it because we're nearing 2 hours on this one. What's nice is I really feel like having all of these exhibits pre-built is gonna make everything else so much easier for us down the line. So anyway, you guys are 1 to 4 social and 0 to 8 population. So, pretty sure I don't have any other patterns for you, unless we want to go to that, which we don't, because the Jurassic Park 3 Ankylosaurus is one of my favorites. I think that was one of the most pleasant surprises, is they did such a good job on the Jurassic Park 3 models. Like the JP3 Ankylosaurus and the third movie's Brachiosaurus are 2 of my favorites, and they brought those back too, and they look great. With that being said, I can't see them because it's nighttime, so we're gonna switch it back to day, even though I said we'd stay on nighttime. So. Ankylosaurus is kind of like a low-key favorite dinosaur of mine, and I'm glad that in Jurassic World they kind of hinted that, or at least they made it clear that when it fought the Indominus Rex, it wasn't like a super fair fight because it gets messed up by the gyrosphere. Like, I'm pretty sure the gyrosphere just KOs one of them. and then it swings its club and hits the gyrosphere, which obviously screws up the balance of the fight. So it's kind of like in Infinity War when you have Thanos go up against Thor and Hulk right out the bat. If he can take them down, then you know it's gonna be a problem. So you gotta have the Indominus start off against Ankylosaurus, because if it can stand a chance against Ankylosaurus, you know it's tough. So I have some more Ankylosauruses. I think I can have one more Styracosaurus. They have a 2 to 5, and we have 3 of them, so I can have 2 more Styracosaurus. I have kind of a bad feeling that in order... Well, we'll see. It just depends. There's no paleobotany in this either, which... If there's one thing that I would have liked for them to bring into Jurassic Park era from the normal era, it was paleobotany, because Dr. Sattler is a paleobotanist, so it kind of makes sense for her to have that specialty. And I also just really like mix and matching dinosaurs that have the same paleo diets. That was something I got a lot of enjoyment out of. I thought the Claire Sanctuary DLC was really good. I know it doesn't have the same wow factor that this does, but I got a lot of enjoyment out of that. I think it would have been way more impactful if it came out with Fallen Kingdom, because I think people were kind of like over the whole save the dinosaurs from the island thing by the time the DLC came out. Oops. It was unfortunately kind of humorous of a fall. Alright, let's get y'all in your nice redwood tree exhibit. Let's make sure none of these Dilos are going hungry, because we only have one. We have the live bait feeder, but we only have one meat dispenser. They all look fine. We're still 100 guests away from John Hammond's contract. So we're getting rid of this, and then I need to go snap a picture. I completely forgot about that one. Dr. Grant's at full rep, so unless we're struggling on money, I'm going to try to get the other ones.
As a paleobotanist, I study plants that died out millions of years ago. They are transformed from organic material to mineral, rocks. Imagine being the someone that first made that connection. Now go rock that contract.
Go rock that contract? See, I was just talking about her being a paleobotanist. Oh, that's right, I can do one more Styracosaurus. I think it's almost at 100% genome, so let's wait a second. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's clear. I sort of have a bias to Dr.
Genome
Grant, if it's
information
not
gets us
obvious.
that much closer to bringing back an authentic dinosaur.
It is mainly because of how much easier his contracts have been to complete, though. Hey, buddy. Was not expecting to see you over here. Alright, that did not get us the 15,000, so let's... For whatever reason, like, I get it, because the game wants you to have more carnivores because they're more dangerous. But, like, herbivores, without the paleobotany bonus, herbivores, like, just don't give you as much as I think they should. Like, I kind of prefer in Operation Genesis, how they had Triceratops, and Brachiosaurus are 5-star dinosaurs, so they carry the same weight as a T-Rex or a Spinosaurus. Really? I'm that much short, really? Let's go to the Dilophosaurus pen, then. Almost. Wow, wow, wow. Thought this would be easier. We have to catch several of them, or we need to get... Okay, this looks good. They're drinking water. That should give us a bonus. There we go. Alright, let's make sure we get the Jeep out of here safely. So I can follow my sand trail. I know where the gates are.
Did anyone ever believe they'd be able to take a picture of a living, breathing dinosaur?
Alright, nope. And that one just finished. Stego's at 100, that's exciting.
These photos are not only useful, but beautiful. Thanks.
Here, on the islands, we need to run towards knowledge. Or run away from what our ignorance has created. I prefer the former, and that is why I strongly suggest that you take a look at this latest contract.
So far, like, everything John Hammond gives us are the contracts that I would immediately delete in the normal challenge mode. So let's try Cabot's. Okay, see, like, I can actually do that.
There's still so much to do before we
Wow,
can confidently
six
say we
exact
understand
same.
the ramifications of
Fine,
resurrecting
whatever.
dinosaurs. Contracts like this one here are part of that process.
Alright, this Styracosaurus
Minute to
might
minute, we
put
are
us
learning
over the
more about
edge.
The dinosaurs. Photographs of the animals and their behaviors will add to our knowledge and understanding. I've heard you're pretty good with a camera, so I'm giving you a list of the photos I'm looking for, okay?
The dinosaurs are keeping an eye on you, and they like what they see. You know the dinosaurs, I mean. The ones in lab coats. Now, the animals in the enclosures? Come on, what do they know?
That was a weird compliment. Right, so Styracosaurus won't be the one to get us to 2 stars. Maybe it'll be a Dilophosaurus. We can have several more, so let's incubate another one. Alright, and you want another picture. This challenge mode is so ridiculously more enjoyable than the normal version. It's not even like a contest. I know it's the only thing that stinks. I'm not sure. I haven't played it. Maybe they updated the original challenge mode to make it more bearable. But if you're considering doing challenge mode, I would always suggest doing this one over the classic one. The only thing that stinks especially if you're like me
Oh,
and
a
you've
new
bought
picture.
all the DLC and all the dinosaur packs for this game, is that...
Let's wrap up that contract and put it in the win column.
Sorry about that. I'm back now. Alright, I am certain that we're almost to 2 stars. Nothing that I'm super interested in there. Big speed, I think we're fine with that. I don't really... Might as well get started on this. It's probably not a bad idea to have that upgrade. Dr. Sattler gave us another contract that's not really one I want to do. Alright, this might get us to 2 stars for real this time.
Acknowledged.
All of our guests are safe. Whew! They had the illusion of danger, but not the actual experience, and that is an optimal result.
Alright, we're not there yet. Am I gonna need to bring in Stego too to get to 5 stars? Or sorry, wow, not 5. 2 stars.
We are pleased to welcome a Dinosaur.
Like how... Everything's fine here.
Every day, the dinosaurs are testing new strategies to overcome our methods of containing them. If we are to survive, and yes, that's what we're dealing with, then we need to stay one step ahead of them. That's where a contract like this latest one comes into play. This is our step.
Well, it looks like...
Another contract down. This has got to be improving our bottom line.
Oh, cool,
Doing
we
a
got
job
that
and
done.
doing it well should be its own reward. But I've decided to give you a little something extra. I hope you like it.
Oh, even though it's not the real John Hammond, it's close enough. Alright, we're gonna do Stego. We're just gonna have to tranquilize these first 3 and move them into their homes.
En route to pick up the asset.
I'm like positive that releasing Stego, it'll get rid of part of the variety penalty. So I'm pretty sure that as soon as we release one of them, we'll get to 2 stars. And I'll probably just end the video at that point. And then we can, I'll start the next episode with having them moved into their paddocks or whatever.
Asset has been collected.
Alright. You know what I've said before, we really like
This is a
redwood
limited
trees
time
around
offer, so you
here.
better hurry, because the window is only 65 million years wide.
Alright, there's a teeny bit of water over here, so we'll need to expand that for sure.
This is a place full of opportunities.
Gee,
For the
she
dinosaur,
likes
we are
expensive
only scratching the
pictures.
surface. But studying dinosaurs means digging deep.
That's
It did
fine.
before Jurassic Park, even more so now. Take a look at this contract, then dig. Alan usually hands the camera to me. Now I'm handing it to you. If you could take the following photographs of the dinosaurs, I sure would appreciate it.
So we're gonna, this is sort of random. If you've been watching this long, then, you know, we can talk about this kind of stuff. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard the last Star Wars movie is not that great. Um, based on initial reviews, which is really, really sad. What a lot of people maybe don't know is the guy who's directing Jurassic World and the third installment, so the first and the third Jurassic World movies, was originally going to direct the last Star Wars movie back when there was supposedly maybe more of a plan or a structure in place for the trilogy. So, I really hope that Jurassic Park or Jurassic World gets a good send-off. Because I can't stand the idea of getting all excited about a beloved franchise coming back and then it's all the movies are like subpar. I actually like the first Jurassic World movie, and there's parts of Fallen Kingdom that I like. Oh my god, now it's a storm. It's like the game heard me talking about movies. It was like, hey, stop that. Anyway, I think it would be kind of poetic justice if the third Jurassic World movie is fantastic, because that guy, Colin Trevorrow, was originally going to direct the third Star Wars movie, and then they basically, like, didn't want him to do it anymore for whatever reason. But all I know is supposedly he told one of the Star Wars actors what his plan was, and they loved it, and they ended up not using that plan at all. So, but once again, that's all just hearsay. Any of it, it just interesting stuff to think about is all. So let's see, y'all got 2 tornadoes and like 4, at least 3 new species, because we ended last episode with Ceratosaurus, Triceratops, and Gallimimus, and we've added Dilophosaurus, Ankylosaurus, and now Stegosaurus. So, twisters are frustrating, aside from their damage, but these guys are losing comfort, and sometimes twisters last longer than just a normal storm would. So they might be in the discomfort zone longer than they would. So we'll have to be careful. Yeah, they are already attacking the fences, and it's not even gone. So we're leaving the park in emergency mode, and I'm heading straight over there. You can already see the construction symbol, which is not good. Yep, fence broken. So we're gonna see how easy it is to tranquilize these guys. Hey, I see you. I see what you've done. It looks like they didn't run out, at least. And honestly, the only reason it probably broke is because they are literally just lining up here and hitting the side of the fence.
No deaths. Wow. That's a significant improvement from my last visit to Jurassic Park, and John Hammond should be quite happy, or at least, relieved to get this news, I would think.
Where's the sick dinosaur? Ceratosaurus again? Okay. Alright, I think we're fine. I think that the Dilophosaurus is knocked down the... Oh, he knocked... Okay, never mind. I'm wrong. That's annoying. Let's get this under control first. You have to switch to medicate for it to tell you what's actually sick, which is kind of interesting. That's right, you can't dodge me.
Dinosaurs detected.
Wow, they're still butting their heads up against the fence.
Looks like all of the alerts have stopped, which is good, as this place already has enough issues to deal with.
Alright, so... Interestingly, they all stayed in, which makes me happy. So let's open the park. We got our... Let's grab our $15,000 photo real quick.
Here's one for the archives. Great shot.
I'd say you're unbelievable, but everything around the islands kind of falls under that category.
Alright, this should get us to 2 stars. However, with that being said, the park's still in recovery mode right now.
I'd do this myself, but Mr. Hammond needs me in, other places to do other things. So, lucky for you, this contract is yours to take.
I've been occupied with all this stuff, so...
Hey, if you were a dinosaur, that'd be a successful hunt. So, enjoy the meal.
Alright, let's go. 2 stars, please. Okay, I guess not 2 stars. It's not disappointing at all.
For your efforts,
Okay,
the
there we
Hammond
go.
Foundation is granting you access to new items.
Cool. Ooh, okay, I can handle that one. Let's see what we...
Decisions. Yeah, that must mean a new contract's available.
Alright, Brachiosaurus, Apatosaurus, Pachycephalosaurus. Okay. Wow, that was loud, sorry. We researched all those. Okay, so Brachiosaurus, Apatosaurus, and Brachiosaurus, Apatosaurus, Pachycephalosaurus. No new dino research yet, but those sauropods will be extremely important for our park. So we're gonna be able to rely pretty heavily on them.
Warning. Ranger vehicle
Sorry, I'm
under
sorry, I'm
attack.
sorry. Alright, y'all are gonna just chill there while I incubate some more friends for you, okay? I love the new Stegosaurus so much. Alright, so we're gonna call it here for now because we're over 2 hours. So I hope y'all enjoyed this one. I had a lot of fun with it. I really like the layout of the park. I think it's worth it to take your time to make it look a little nicer. If you're worried about par time, you don't need to beat it on par time to get the skins, unless they changed it, but I'm pretty sure they did not. There's several parks that I have not beaten on par time, and you get the skins either way, so thank you all again very much for watching, and I'll see ya in the next one.